People need to know about the Buffalo Soldiers because that was part of our history. That was part of our U.S. history, and also it's part of, most importantly, part of our military history. Is that after the Civil War, we had to put the states back together. We had to put the people back to work. We had to put people back to building. We had to put our children back in school. But we still had a lot of chaos throughout the land. So Congress put together these troops to go out and make this country safe again, and to start them building and start them moving westward. The North Texas Buffalo Soldiers unit is about keeping that part of our history alive. There's not a whole bunch written about the significance that the Buffalo Soldiers played in the United States, so we're just trying to keep that part of the history alive so that we can pass that information on to show that how much everybody played in resettling this country. To me, the most important part, the most important lesson that the Buffalo Soldiers can teach to the youngsters today is diversity. And that is that we had a group of soldiers. They actually was coined as the colored soldiers. The Native Americans gave us the name of Buffalo Soldiers. But what they were able to do was to put together people and learn from each other. Learn that differences sometimes meant it made things better. They learned from the Native Americans on how to catch horses, train horses. They learned from the Native Americans how to live off the land. They learned from the Hispanic on parts of their culture how to survive in the heats of the plains of Texas and California. They learned how to use nature as part of what they need to do to survive. They also learned the language in order to be able to communicate with the vast majority of what Spanish speakers and Native American tongues, which were over 27 dialects, I believe. I'm a career police officer, and about 15 years ago, my brother and I thought that instead of continually putting people in jail, especially our young folks, we need to be able to give them another outreach. We need to be able to tell them that things aren't as bad as they think it is. So we tell them the history of the Buffalo Soldiers, how these guys up from slavery had no concept of anything beyond the plantation, how they didn't know how to read or write or add or subtract. And we showed them the hardships of these individuals, and then we taught them how they learn and the importance of learning. That was always something that they look forward to, and I meant what they look forward to is that their most trained, the toughest one of their officers were always the Native American. And actually, that's how the Buffalo Soldiers got their name. They fought with each other, and they had sort of a love-hate for each other. In fact, it turned into a pride. The Native Americans' the most prized animal was the buffalo. The buffalo meant just about everything to them. It was shelter for them. They took the hides and they made tents for them. It was food, of course, for them. They even took the innards of that animal and made strings for their bows. They used the hooves. They even used the urine for medicine. And they also took the dung from the animal, and they, in some parts, used that dung to cook their foods with. So it was very important to them. And they knew what an effort it was to take that animal down. So when they shot that animal, they usually had to get up close enough to that animal just to kill that animal and keep that animal from fighting. And they found the same type of tenacity with the colored soldiers when they fought them. So some folks said they gave them the name because of the wool of the hair, or the hair on the top of our heads. But I've been black all my life, and I never had hair like the buffalo. And I don't know very many of our people that look like me that have wool like the buffalo. But what the Native Americans said to us was that if you ever got entangled with one of these guys, the colored soldiers, it would be like fighting a buffalo. You had to kill him to stop him. And that's how they got the name Buffalo Soldiers.